Welcome to Good Game Well Played. I'm Rad. Or am I?
Ah! Gotcha! Hello and welcome to Good Game Well Played for Friday the 1st of July. This is a special election edition of... Nah, not really. That's a joke. This is the MVC's only show about competitive video games and the nerds who play them. I'm very excited to be back. My name is Hingers, and a big thank you to Radley for keeping this chair warm while I was away. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about Overwatch because they've just released competitive play and it's beginning to take shape as an esport. But first, let us look at the news. And we start with visa news, as the White House, the one in America, has responded to a petition about esports. After Swedish Super Smash player Leffen was deported from the US in 2015, fans wrote to the White House asking for Smash to be considered a legitimate reason for an athletic visa, in the same way that games like League of Legends already had. The petition, which was part of the White House's We the People initiative, got over 100,000 signatures, the threshold for an official government response. And so earlier this week, Obama, I assume it was Obama himself, physically at the keyboard, wrote back, and while they did not specifically refer to Leffen's situation, the statement said in part, "There is no current policy categorically precluding an esport from being recognised as a qualifying athletic competition. In fact, USCIS has approved P1 visa petitions for athletes seeking to enter the United States to compete in esport events." Which was sort of the point of the petition in the first place. Thanks, Obama. Nah, he's alright. You know, if you ask me, they should start a petition to nerf Rosalina. Yeah, take that, Rosalina. Nah, she's alright. Alright, and now to romance and esports news. A professional Heroes of the Storm player has been dropped from his team because of his girlfriend. According to Manny Medina, he was dropped from pro team Gale Force Esports because, quote, "the team felt my girlfriend was too much of an issue for the rest of the team." Apparently, Gale Force told Medina they were concerned about potential performance issues if he broke up with his girlfriend in the future. Imagine getting fired from your job because your teammates think that you and your girlfriend are going to break up and that you won't be able to deal with that. That doesn't suggest that A, they have a lot of faith in your relationship, and B, they have a lot of faith in your ability to deal with trauma. Maybe you've got to think about the signals you're putting out there and why they think that of you. Medina says he is now looking for a new HOTS team, hopefully one that respects his forbidden love. And now to Dota news. North Americans Evil Geniuses and Europeans Team Secret have both qualified for TI6 in August. 14 of the 18 spots have now been filled for the tournament, whose prize pool sits at just under $14 million US at the time of writing. It is projected to once again be the largest esports tournament of all time. EG won the International in 2015 but have not maintained dominance throughout the year, only placing third at the Shanghai Major and failing to get out of the group stage in Manila. Alright, that is it for the news. Let's talk Overwatch. Overwatch. Blizzard's new team shooter Overwatch has been everywhere since its release. Everyone's playing it and everyone is making very good meme content about it, which I think is the true test of success and quality. Naturally, this has meant people are asking whether or not Overwatch will be the next big esport, and given it's just overtaken League of Legends as the most played game in Korean net cafes, that is PC bungs, that's a very real possibility. And famously, Blizzard love tweaking their games post-release to fine-tune the experience. So, a month after initial release, here are a few things the devs could do to help build the Overwatch pro scene. Number 1, game time. Overwatch games tend to last between 6 and 11 minutes, which is great for someone like me who is playing the game and is also terrible at the game, and just wants to get back in after a crushing defeat. But from a viewer perspective, most of the other big esports have much longer game times. There's a lot more time to build tension, narrative, and competition within individual matches. The potential problem with Overwatch's short game time, which is even more pronounced in the pro scene, is that it can be harder to build complexity and variety into matches, and as a result, games can become repetitive and even predictable, especially in a shooter with a limited map pool. In fact, this could be avoided by adding different, longer maps to the map pool, but we'll talk about maps later. Number 2, a better spectator system. Initially, Overwatch used the same kind of spectator mode that most FPSs use. When you're watching competitive play, you're watching the first-person view of the pro players, switching between hosts depending on where the action on the map is. There's also now the option of a third-person view, which has some movement in terms of zoom, but it can be difficult for people who are not used to watching FPS esports to follow what's going on. What would be really cool is if they installed specific fixed camera positions on the map that spectators could switch between, or a bird's eye top-down view to see the whole map at once. In-game, Overwatch doesn't have a minimap or a radar to illustrate player positioning, which is intended to promote communication between the teammates, but building a minimap just so observers could see where everyone was would make following the game much easier too. Number 3, a universal competitive rule set. Recently, Overwatch released competitive play on PC, however, the rule set is different to what tournament organisers had previously been experimenting with. It's not unusual that competitive play is different to professional play, but there's also currently no universally accepted rule set for tournaments either. This obviously makes it harder for teams to train and prepare for multiple tournaments, because playing conditions change from event to event. It'll take time for a generally accepted rule set to evolve, but the faster the community can agree upon one, the quicker the pros can start working towards perfecting their play, and the quicker we as viewers can start handily comparing tournaments. Number 4, a Blizzard sanctioned league with legit prize money. Sweet cash money dollars! Esports hype and pro players have been following money since the dawn of esports. Currently, in the Overwatch pro scene, you have some pro TF2 teams we'll come across, as well as some hero squads, and some composite teams. If Blizzard could offer big money and prestige tournaments to attract people from other shooters like CSGO and Halo, especially for console, it would rapidly expand not just the player base, but also the fan base as well. Similarly, following in the footsteps of Blizzard's other esports titles like Hearthstone and StarCraft, it'd be exciting to see them fully commit to a regulated professional league with a global finals at BlizzCon. And even though that doesn't guarantee Overwatch will take off as an esport, see Heroes of the Storm, it's kind of a bare minimum nowadays to be taken seriously when a new title launches. And finally, number 5, a publicly accessible map editor. This is a pipe dream. Blizzard haven't said they'd release one, but I think one of the main reasons StarCraft took off as an esport and was so beloved by the community were the map building boffins who did things that were not standard in Blizzard maps, and that evolved the game beyond what the devs initially thought was possible. Similarly, in shooters, it's been really cool to see communities building maps to reflect the meta and necessitate innovative strategies and playstyles. Having community-built maps would mean tournament organisers could pick or even commission types of maps conducive to competitive play. Even the ability to build simple training maps would help the pro scene. I think it's really unlikely Blizzard will do this, which is understandable given that they want to exert quality control over their IP, but it would be really, really cool, and it would mean a more robust esports scene. Anyway, those are my few thoughts about developments Blizzard could make to solidify Overwatch as an esport, but given they've already sold like a bajillion copies and have a bajillion people playing, maybe they don't need my advice at all. Alright, that is it for today's show. Let us know your hopes and dreams in the comments. They can be Overwatch related if you like, or as always, you can try and guess my personal contact information. Until next week, here's up! See ya!